Hey guys, hey y'all, hey y'all. So I'm gonna get this shit cleansed, get this shit clear. And I'm gonna share this to the group and we are gonna get started on fairy education. Give me 1 second. Okay. We're talking about offerings, the offerings, fairy combos for protection, and we are going to go into just more about protecting your energy and using the fae to protect it. So I'm going to start off by talking about the offerings. Hopefully my titties don't fall out this fucking dress. Okay, so fairy offerings. I personally know that there are specific fae that like specific things, like brownies tend to like brownies. Brownies are house fae, and they sort of are, I don't want to call them like hobgoblins, but brownies will definitely help you fix your house up. I've actually had a few brownies that were in Airbnbs that I was in. Yeah, there was this one is like dangly, like fringe that was blocking one room from the other. So the fringe kept getting tangled up, and I was like, damn, there's no way I can like untangle this. If only, I said like out loud, if only there was a way that I can untangle this before I have to leave, because this shit, like, my daughter was just, okay, playing all in it the whole time. So, and then I woke up and the whole thing was untangled. The entire thing was untangled. So I was like, okay, who the fuck was that? Who hurt me? And that's when I started to do research. I was like, oh, it's a brownie. They usually lived in houses. And a lot of fae will help you out, like with cleaning and like organization and things like that, if you already have a connection with them and if you trust them enough to help you. Because usually like the fae, they're not like, oh, if you give me this, then I'll do this. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them are, but the ones that like are house helpers and things like that, they usually just do it either by Morgana's direction or by just knowing that, you know, usually like single moms are usually busy and they're always working, so they don't mind being a helping hand to someone who works with the fae. You know, they've cleansed my house before, okay? Like, okay, they've cleansed it before. And it's definitely an energy that you have to learn to trust, because a lot of them live in our homes, but they don't like dirty homes. So sometimes we have to open a space up for them energetically to come in, you know, so they can help and assist more. I know like with that Airbnb situation, they were all up in and around that place. Okay, they loved living there and they loved helping. So I honestly, like, I just let them, and I just learned more about them there when I was living in that Airbnb. So, and that was last year, 2 years ago. Last year, that was last year. I'm forgetting, but yeah. So brownies. Like brownies, they definitely love brownies. I recommend chocolate as well, but not as much as I recommend like candy or sweets, just because they are very sweet toothed in nature, especially the good fae. They do like to eat a lot of sweet things, so I recommend making them first. I don't recommend going to the store to buy it. Not that it's necessarily bad, it's just your energy is in what you make. So if you're constantly buying them stuff, they're not really, not that they're not going to be receptive to it, they're just more receptive to things that are handmade and things that you make yourself. Like anyone that you see that does like fairy art and that only does fairy art, those are still offerings. You know what I'm saying? Those are offerings of respect to the fae. So it's not just feeding them. You know, they love art, they love creating. These are very energetic beings, and they love everything about the arts as well. There's so many fae that they're just naturally gifted in these things. So when you show, even if you can't draw, like, it's fine, okay? You're putting effort into showing them that you care, and sometimes that is just enough. You know, sometimes we feel like we have to do like 20, just a lot of things just to get their approval, when we just have to be ourselves, Like, the more you are yourself around the Fae, the more they can trust you, okay? Because a lot of them can read your mind, read your spirit. Like, there's no hiding from the Fae, because their only job on this earth is to see right through you. That's their only job on this earth. So, okay, I don't know what the fuck that was. But when they know that you're not really being yourself, they're not really gonna fuck with you like that. They might a little bit, like, fuck with you just like a little bit, but they're not gonna fuck with you heavy. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you have to understand your own personal realness and know how real you can possibly be. Like, is how real you're gonna get with them, So if you're constantly lying to your friends or lying to your co-workers or your customers and things like that, that's the kind of energy that you're gonna get. They're very solid in their group. They're very protected because they protect each other, So they're not easy, they're not going to easily allow, especially humans, to come in and infiltrate that and fuck it up, because humans' energy is naturally, like, deceptive, and it's naturally lying because, we've been taught to lie to get ahead, not tell the truth when, when you're around people because of their status or things that you want to get for them. Like, this is, like, just human nature at its raw point. Like, if aliens came and judged us all as humans, not as black human, white human, Asian human, just like as a collective, they'd be like, ew, these niggas are fucking gross. Like, I don't want to visit this planet. These niggas are gross. Because, like, our energy is not of pure heart. You know what I mean? It's not of pure energy. It's always, like, got some sinister connotation to why you're kind to somebody sometimes. I've met a lot of people like that. And I'm like, oh, you want to work with the Fae? Oh, I don't think you should. Because they might allow you to come in just so they can fuck you up. Like, a lot of them are tricksters. A lot of them are tricksters, and they don't like humans to begin with. So, like, you coming in like a ugly ass energy is not gonna be beneficial for nobody involved, okay? So you have to be true to yourself, and you have to understand yourself. Like, if you're not real, then just work on that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody started from some point, okay? I told you, I was at the strip club. My whole job was to lie to niggas. That was my whole job, was to lie to niggas, okay? Like, once you realize that you have to evolve in some sort of way, then they will allow yourself to open up to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not set in stone, like, oh, I was this way in the past, so the Fae will never fuck with me. No, you have a choice every day to grow and to learn and to develop yourself. It's not, nothing is set in stone, especially with the Fae, okay? So I want to talk about fairy combos. So I'm gonna just go through the list that I listed on my Facebook page on my post, and I'll go into different combos for different things, whether it is to destroy an enemy or to get back your energy from the past, because there are a few fairies that are specifically in the astral realm, so they will help a lot with traveling back in time. They'll help you uncover memories, uncover hidden truths. Definitely when you pair them with fairies that help you heal, it'll just elevate you in a whole different level, because if you can, like, heal while you're sleeping, it's beautiful, okay? It definitely is. I highly recommend that. So yeah, highly recommend it. So I'll go down the list. The first one is the Bigot Bogey. Now, this one is all about physical and psychological pain. They themselves, I don't want to say they're like wild-natured, because they do have a version of them. It's called the Bully Bogey. I'm going to get into them in a minute. The Bigot Bogey, I'm going to say, is a more like sophisticated version of the Bully Bogey. So the Bully is a very hunter-like, animalistic, like, once you give it a mission, it doesn't stop until it's done. Like, that type of, like, animalistic instinct, like, not gonna stop until the job is done type of energy. That's a bully bogey. And again, psychological and physical pain is their main objective, you know, and they'll go about it by basically any means necessary just to get the job done, because a lot of fairies just want the gratification of like doing a good job and knowing that, you know, you're pleased with them completing what you asked for. You know, obviously offer them something in return. Don't just say thank you and then just walk away. That's not cool. And and fairies don't take thank yous lightly. They do not take them lightly. They do not take apologies lightly at all. So if you're going to like get into the fairy world and maybe you've offended a fae, apologizing to them from the heart is the only way, literally the only way to really like move forward with the fae. Because if you're just apologizing because you want something from them later, they're gonna fuck you up for it. Okay, so like the reason why I love the fae is because you can't be disingenuous around them. Like you can't be in fraud ass energy because you'll get fucked up and you'll get called out. You know what I'm saying? They will blow your whole shit up, okay? And they will stop working with you altogether, you know? And a lot of my Orisha work with the fae. You know, Oya definitely is one of my favorites. She works with the fae. Oshu, not so much, but Oya definitely. And I think it's just because of her energy is just so powerful and intense and very influential. So they usually partner up for me. I'm not sure how it works with other people. I don't know how, you know, how they work together, but for me, they all work in unison with each other. They might not all get along, okay? Not all the time, and that's okay, because they're all here for one objective, and it's to help you and to push you forward, so. And I'm gonna go down on the list. So the next one is the Bodak, which is a very mischievous, I'm gonna call it a Pan-like energy, because if you know about my Peter Pan post that I posted, his energy is technically bad. I know that we saw him in Peter Pan, but his energy is classified as a bad fae because he's very childlike and he will make you literally relinquish all your adult responsibilities for childish things. You know, so he's like a fairy that will want you to get like, let me see. I'm not even gonna say revenge. Like, he's the type of fairy that will like make you want to quit your job just so you can like, I don't know, just fuck your girlfriend all day. You know what I'm saying? Like, or like live on your mama's couch. You know what I'm saying? Like that's his energy. He wants you to stay small, you know, and it's very powerful and very influential. So with the Bodak, it's the same thing. It's a very chaotic Pan-like energy, a very chaotic childlike energy. And sometimes when you pair that, I'll talk about pairing together, when you pair like a childlike energy with like maybe a soul eater or a fairy that has that uproots anger. I have one on here. I'm gonna get to it in a minute. Pairing those together will result in a whole lot of chaos for your enemy's life. Sorry, that's something to look into, but I'm gonna keep going. So the blue-faced hag is a very, very, very dangerous fairy. Okay, I'm gonna say that because she literally eats kids. Like, she only likes to eat children. So I don't know any situations to where you would need to call on her. I personally don't know. I've never been in a situation to need her. Of course, she wanna come and hang out, but I'm like, girl, I don't know, you know, because she literally she devours everything in her path. Like, she is a super succubus, and she loves eating children's energy. So she is a very dangerous energy to work with. Like I said, I don't know people's situations to where they would need her, but she is available. So that is that. Sorry, my nose is fucking running. Got spirit running all through me. Okay. I got the soul shrinker is next. I think I said that right. The soul shrinker. Okay, let me pronounce it right. And it grows as it feeds, okay? So as it grows and as it feeds on your enemy's energy, it weighs down. So it's like, I don't know if y'all seen Hunter x Hunter, that little floaty thing that it says it's time to collect, or yeah, I think it says it's time to collect, and then it just grows bigger, and that just weighs on them. So as it feeds and uproots their anger or eats their anger, sadness, any low vibration, it grows and it grows. And in turn, when it grows that feeling as well. So it can keep feeding itself because it's not going to eat the same amount of energy it was when it was this big, you know? So that is something that you can use. It will literally wither their soul down to nothing. And it fills them with rage just so they can eat off of it. And if you've ever seen someone who was like, oh, I don't even know how to describe it. I met a girl that had a soul shrinker on her. I don't think she knew at the time. I didn't know what it was at the time, but I just like saw it and felt it. And like, it literally, it looks like a wild cat in a way that just sucks everything out. I don't know how to describe it, but very dangerous. Yes, very dangerous to work with, but very good to pair with for protection. And I'm gonna keep going down the list. Pooks and Pukas. Those are masters of confusion. They usually target the third eye or the crown, and they slowly infiltrate. So they slowly start to manipulate your mind into thinking their way so that they can confuse you and turn you off your path. And that's a good fairy to pair with the one that's, let me see, the Wild Crouch, which I'll get into first in a minute. Because the Wild Crouch makes you want to do all bad things. So if you have a puka paired with the Wild Crouch, it'll always, eat your mind first so that you're at a vulnerable state. And then that Wild Crouch just comes in and makes you do a whole bunch of bad things. Like, oh, run that red light. Steal this from the store. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. It's okay. Nobody's gonna catch you. Nobody's gonna know. That's a Wild Crouch. And they feed off of the chaos of your decisions. And they love to influence. So they usually pair themselves with energies like pukas and things, just because it's easier for them to just tell you what to do if you already have a fairy on your crown attacking your mind and attacking your mental state and things like that. So it's just easier for them. So they naturally pair themselves with it. And I'm gonna go into the Habia. I think I pronounced that right, the Habia. And it gets stronger as it feeds off your energy. And that is a succubus energy as well. And what this one does, it projects fear so that it can feed off of you. So it projects it into your mind and into your surroundings. And again, Fae are multidimensional beings. So it can project itself like as a stranger and say something triggering just so it can feed off of that fear, So it's not just, what you have to understand is like, these creatures have the ability to have a physical form. These creatures have an ability to exist like you and me are exist. Touching, they can touch you, okay? They can hold your hand. They could be your boyfriend, okay? They could be your husband too. We ain't gonna get into it, but okay? They can exist in a physical form, okay? And I'm gonna go into the Gluminous Doom, which is a depression fairy, okay? Very self-explanatory. It feeds off of sadness. Well, it doesn't really feed off of it. It loves that energy. It's its natural state is sadness and worry and doubt. So it gives it to you to endure, and it slowly just breaks you down until you have the strength to literally pull yourself back up. So, and one thing, let me see. Yeah, one thing about the Gluminous Doom, okay, that I want to say, They are better paired than they are solo, just because, you know, they, not that they're not strong, they're better in a group than they are solo. Okay, it's better. Okay. So, the Pang of Regret is a time traveler, and again, I pair this with many of my fae, just because when I want to take energy back that was stolen from me from the past, I want to know who did it, I want to know when it happened, and I want them to help me, you know, get that shit back, okay? And they are very good time travelers because they can exist in the astral realm as well. So while living in the astral realm, they can help you see things that happened from your past. I don't necessarily know if they can show you everything from your future, but they can definitely show you events leading up to certain situations in the past. So that's something to keep in mind when pairing. And another one is the Dark Despair. So the Dark Despair, it pulls the internal dark energy to the surface. So it pulls all your inner darkness up. Sorry, my nose is just like fucking running. But it pulls your internal darkness up just so it can cause you to be out of alignment. It causes you to be disrupted. That's their natural ability. So again, Dark Despair paired with like a Luminous Doom, and then paired with like a Succubus, that would be a perfect combination as for protection as revenge. And for protection, again, you have to assign, well, you don't have to, but you can assign fairies to live on your phones. You can assign fairies to live on your profiles, okay? So that you have that consistent and constant protection going on no matter what medium you are, no matter if you're in the physical, okay, in the digital, in the astral, like these things, they're there for that, you know, especially if you know about the credit card fairy. Yeah, definitely keep an arsenal online, okay? Keep an arsenal online, all right? And I'm gonna go into the Grumbling Gob, okay? Very dangerous, very, very, very dangerous. A super succubus, just like the Blueface Hag, just because they are master energetic manipulators. Like, they are very good at rotting the crown in a way. I say rotting the crown because it'll fill it up with just nonsense, you know, and it'll make you want to believe it, you know, like it'll slowly descend your mind into chaos. And then when you have that, of course, like a Grumbling Gob will always be with a fairy that wants to make you make bad decisions. So like these fairies, they usually group together naturally because they all benefit off of each other's natural talents. So definitely watch out for the Grumbling Gob. It's also known as a yellow blurker, okay? Definitely watch out for those. Very dangerous to work with. Again, I recommend, if you've never worked with the fairies before, go through Morgana Le Fay, okay? Go through Morgana and ask her to assign the best possible fairies for you, okay? The best possible ones, because if you just blindly pick and choose, it might not be the best way to go about it. So, Morgana has a lot of respect on both sides, okay? On light and dark, so she's definitely a good one to go to when asking for the assistance of the Fae. So, and I'm going to go into, the Obscure Fairy, okay. So the Obscure Fairy, it blocks the third eye. And like I said, if an Obscure Fairy and a Wild Crouch came together, that would be like a perfect match, because Wild Crouch wants you to literally lead yourself to death by making a series of bad decisions. So once you keep making these choices because your third eye is clouded and your crown is cloudy, then, you know, spirits like these succubus fae just get to eat for free and then just leave, you know? So obscure fairies, they are very small, very undetectable. I'll say they are as undetectable as a like a boggle. They're kind of on the same level. I'm gonna say kind of, because boggles are like a whole different thing, okay? A whole different monster. But Gringlings, Gringlings just love to fuck shit up. They just love to destroy. They're naturally just chaotic. So if you ever have a problem with somebody, yeah, just give them one of those, okay? And they'll be so busy with their life. Like, they will forget that they're your enemy, okay? They will be very busy trying to get that thing off. And spunkies. Spunkies mislead their enemies into danger. So a spunky paired with a wild crouch, a wild crouch will make you make all the bad decisions that you possibly can, okay? And then the spunky comes and just leads you into danger day after day after day with all of your decisions. And, you know, with this energy, my lord, it's just a recipe for disaster, okay? And of course, the last one on my list is Morgana Le Fay. She is a master healer, master teacher, master spiritualist, just master of everything spiritual. She is also a very well known in history. So if you know about Merlin, okay, then you definitely should get into Morgana. Definitely get into Morgana. So I'll be just reading off a couple of the pairings that I do. Well, I don't do them now. Like, anything I share, I upgraded already. But these are what I used to do. This was a pairing for Destroying Livelihood. It is a wild crouch paired with a Gringling and Pukas. So those three paired together are good pairings. And for getting your energy back, I recommend going to the Bigot Bogey, because they are very hunter-esque. They're not going to stop until the job is done. The Pang of Regret and the Habia. And for getting energy back again, you can use the Soul Shrinker, you can use the Pang of Regret, and you can use the Habia again. So you can interchange the Bigot Bogey with the Soul Shrinker. You can interchange the Habia with the Soul Shrinker and the Bigot Bogey. Like, you can interchange these and it'll still have very similar results. So the, let's see, for sadness and pain, for someone to receive that, you would do the Dark Despair, a Bigot Bogey, and a Bodak. So these three paired together, good for giving people sadness. And in order to keep your enemies in danger, so they're just like not bothering you anymore, you can pair a Spunky with a Wild Crouch, and it's that simple. You know, these just two of them. That's all they need. And if you're just trying to fuck shit up, okay, it's Bigot Bogey, Dark Despair, and Gringlings. So those are a good combination for just fucking shit up, okay? And of course, the Obscure Fairy, the Wild Crouch, and the Habia as well. So, and they will literally just destroy everything, okay? They will just destroy it all. So when you are asking for protection, okay, and when you're asking your spirit team or the Fae for protection, you have to understand that the more you're not fucking with people out here, the higher your protection is going to be, you know, because they know when you're, you know, they know when you're bullying and harassing. They know when you're energetically manipulating. Like, they know when you're doing shit you're not supposed to be doing. And your reward will be different in a way the more you stay with yourself, you know. And I feel like for a lot of people who work with the Fae, they know that they don't take no shit from nobody, you know. They don't necessarily like humans, but they will work with them, but they're not your fucking call dogs. You know what I'm saying? They're not maids. You know, they're not. I'm gonna say this. They love being treated more as friends than as workers. If you know what I mean? Because a lot of people I've noticed, like with even the Orisha, they're just like, hey, I want this. Thank you. Thanks for giving to me. I want this now. Thank you. Appreciate you. Oh, I want this now. And listen, you can't do that shit with the Fae, okay? Don't snap your fingers at the Fae, okay? They will break your hand. Okay, so listen, you have to have a certain level of respect with them. They do not take apologies lightly, and they do not take their energy lightly at all. You know, they really respect their relationships with the families that they're in, and with the energies that they've been assigned to protect. So that's why I don't go out with strangers, okay? I don't go out of my way to fuck with, I don't go out of my way to hurt no stranger's heart, because you never know who's protecting them. You never know who's watching over them, okay? And you never fucking know. Like, you just don't know. That's why I don't be out here fucking with folks in the name of spirituality. Like, you never know. So there is the Fae, okay? And I hope you got some good education from this, okay? And yeah, I will be back on with some more fairy education in a couple of days, by the end of the week. So see you later.